Hello and welcome to Personality Profile Friday. My name is Nana Ansakwa. Dr. Jacob Ashon is the reason why I'm here today. Biochemist who has a deep passion for the galaxy, the planets and its formation and its reaction to nature, and the urgency and the importance of why we should study beyond the Earth. Behind me is a diagram here of all the planets, and most importantly, how many times man has flown over it to explore it. This is the first planetarium in West Africa. And one would ask, why would somebody want to set up a planetarium in this side of the world? Here we are struggling to feed the average child in school, and doctor is saying that no, forget about that. Look beyond the Earth, don't be selfish. Go further, explore, because the new age is technology. Really? Now I'm here to talk to him and find out where he gets this desire and this passion from. This is Personality Profile on the Planets. Hello and welcome back. Now I know most of you probably have even heard of it, but you don't know where it is. I am at the planetarium. And as I told you in the intro, once upon a time in the UK, somewhere in Mill Hill, I drove by a planetarium so many times, and as a Ghanaian, never ever once even bothered to stop to find out what was going on there. You know what? I've been here 5 minutes and I am hooked. I'm addicted. You should see the size of the sun compared to the size of the earth and you think, my God, but then we're going to have an interesting conversation. Welcome, Dr. Ashon.
Thank you.
Dr. Jacob Ashon is... So what are you then? A planetarian?
No, I'm a scientist.
A scientist?
I have a love for nature. And when I was teaching science, I was so fascinated by some aspect of science. So I decided one day to build a science center.
Now, we're going to go back to
the science center.
No, we haven't even gotten there yet. We're going to go all the way back to your childhood days. So where did you grow up?
Oh, wow, that's a long story.
Yes,
I grew up in a place you never believe, Jamestown.
I see.
Very close to Lighthouse. That's where I grew up.
Well, we can understand why. We can understand why. Waking up to see the light, why you want to see further than the light. I see. And what was it like growing up in Jamestown those days?
In those days, it was just fun because you can get up early, go and have the fishermen, get some fish, sell it, bath, and go to school.
Wow.
There were not many people around Lighthouse or Jamestown. You won't see many people. So between my house and the sea, you might see maybe 4 or 5 or 6 children all doing what I was doing. It was underpopulated.
Pull the net out, get some fish.
To do the net out, get some fish, sell it. And the Kole Lagoon was supplying a lot of the fish I was selling. Kole Lagoon.
It was clean then?
Very clean. Full of dide.
I see. So then secondary school days. So where did you do your secondary school?
Well, the interesting thing is, I really didn't do secondary school. I went to middle school.
Okay.
And I finished at Old Government Boys School.
I see.
Do you know where that is?
No, I don't.
It's on Kimbu Road. It's now called Kimbu School.
Oh, okay.
Kimbu.
Okay.
I believe it's a senior secondary.
I think so.
Yeah. It was Government Boys School, and I finished middle school there. And because of the nature of the education in those days, I was able to use it to go to evening classes on the high street. There was evening classes.
I see.
After work. And then I continued for 2 years. I had a chance to go to UK. And when I went to UK, I got a job and I decided to continue and go to evening classes for my O-level and A-level.
Wow.
And that's how it all went.
Wow.
Non-stop. And I'm still studying.
So when I say Mill Hill, obviously you know what I'm talking about.
I know Mill Hill very well. But there is a medical research center there.
I've never been in there.
And I work there.
Oh, okay.
They have an observatory.
Yes.
I worked there. I didn't work at the observatory.
Oh, I see.
I didn't know anything about astronomy or planetarium or observatory, but there was a medical research center, so I was working
That's
there.
where you were,
Yeah.
because I know you did biochemistry, right?
Yeah.
But growing up then, what was your passion? Was it science,
My
arts,
passion was just
the accountant?
trying to understand in nature. Everything nature was my passion, trying to understand it. So when I got the chance and I was in UK, I wanted to just study science and science and science. Until I got to know about astronomy and the solar system, and I got hooked onto it.
And I bet there's so much to learn in that department that, you know, I don't think you ever
UK
finish
to
learning.
London to have a lot of museums and planetarium and other places you can spend your weekend looking around, studying, talking to people. So I just continue absorbing everything.
Doc, I mean, I know the Milky Way or the galaxy amuses everyone. I mean, I'm really excited seeing your bits and pieces here. I got very excited. But, you know, yours has become like a hobby now.
Yes. I'm retired as a scientist, but I'm still teaching distance learning. But the planetarium is now a hobby. And I try to use my time to build something, get volunteers to help, try to raise money so we can get schools to come and learn something in place of the laboratory they haven't got.
The other challenge, I don't know if you had that challenge, because here we are in a nation where even pertinent and immediate things are left to the back shelf. So I'm wondering who would say, oh yeah, let's go and look in the Milky Way galaxy. Let's get all these Kimbu 4 and 5 and Kimbu High School to go to Dr. Ashon to learn about where Venus is. We don't come from a culture where we take these things serious.
That is interesting. That is true. I think the problem is majority of people are hooked on working, rushing home, cooking, or cinema, or music. You see, to get a museum to be alive and a nature study area to be alive, a science center to be alive, so teachers, science teachers, and children will be sufficiently interested to visit. It's a different thing. Mm-hmm. I'm still building the place and I'm still trying to raise money. But I think most Ghanaians, if they have the chance, they want to visit it. We're not trying to raise some money, get more people to help, so we can open any time for the general public, mm-hmm. so that those who are working can find time to come after work. That is our next challenge. At the moment, we haven't got the money, we haven't got the personnel, so when we close here at 5:30, that's the end. During the week, schools book and come here. Okay. But if we can raise the money or get the support, we'll probably open up to 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. for people finishing their work to say, I want to see the planetarium. Let's make it a social call. We might even have tables around for them to sit down and chat. And maybe some light for them to also chat. Mm-hmm. But we could also have telescope around so that when certain planets are visible, they can actually relax and look at the planets. That's our aim. That is our challenge.
Wow, wow. It's a big challenge how you can sell this idea to us.
If you can help us raise money.
We will. So if you are out there, you know, it's not only the exercise books and everything. Let us study what the nature and the world around us. When you were doing, I mean, obviously you have a graduate in biochemistry.
Yes.
Were you then studying the galaxies as part-time or as a hobby, or is when you retired and then you said, okay, that's it, I'm now going here?
I think going back about 40 years, when I was still studying biochemistry, I spent most of my free time trying to understand the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, the universe. Now, UK has a lot of wonderful documentaries on the BBC channels. Mm-hmm. And I really spend a lot of the time just looking at them, just relaxing and looking at them. I wasn't studying, I was looking at them. Until I got to the stage where I realized I have to take it more seriously, to read something, to understand what I was seeing. That's when the passion became something else. And I'm still watching the program, still trying to understand it.
There's one program that I watch, and I'll talk to you about it, but before I go to the program, I mean, your family, immediate family, maybe wife and children, I mean, do they say, there he goes again with another planet? Or are they all enthused and say, oh, that's exciting?
I think what they remember is we didn't have any holiday. Because every holiday I have, the whole family has to spend the holiday visiting museums and science centers. So that's what they will say. There we go again. Lucky for me, somewhere along the line, they all got hooked on it. And they got interested.
I see. So it wasn't a chore getting
involved? It wasn't a chore at all. And my wife got so interested. She started reading more about it. And she gradually became more of a scientist and a solar system scientist than me. And she's an artist. But she got interested.
Because I know some of the paintings of the galaxy and stuff she's painted for you.
She didn't actually do any painting. Most of them we get from NASA.
Okay.
Lucky for us, anything we want now, if we write to the United Nations or UNESCO or NASA or some of our friends anywhere, we get them.
Oh, I see.
And there are companies producing posters of the solar system and the Milky Way galaxy. And they know we spend our own money to do the Ghana planetarium. So we really haven't got much money to buy anything. When we send email, we say we're looking for this or that. They're very nice. They're kind enough to just send them.
That's
and
nice.
Then we get some of them with a license. We just sign that. We will give them acknowledgement.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But most of our wonderful posters you see are from NASA. One or two of them from National Institute Foundation in Cape Town, South Africa. They are very, very strong on astronomy. They give us a lot of things free.
I see. The other thing that I want to find out was about a program I also watch with BBC, right? And it's a planet, an ice planet with ice volcano.
Yes.
Nitrogen.
I'm still trying to understand.
And saying that anything that goes near it will just freeze.
It's just too cold.
Instantly.
You see, the sun is a star. And the closer you are, the hotter it is. Mm-hmm. The further away you are from the sun, the cooler and cooler it is. Planets like Jupiter and Uranus, they're too far. And Pluto is a baby planet, or a dwarf planet. They're too far from the sun, and they are very, very cold. So cold, even though they are made of gas, a mixture of gases, the gas is frozen solid.
Wow.
Solid. And recently, they sent a probe. It got so close, took photograph inside. The inside of some of them has volcano.
Ice volcanoes.
Ice volcano. And we're trying to understand how they come about. And scientists are still trying to understand. I don't understand it. I'm still trying to understand.
Exploding.
Exploded. Inside. Wow. Inside, not outside. You don't see anything on the surface. But as you put your probe, your electronic thing, right inside, you see that it's a volcanic eruption.
Amazing.
And then the physics of the whole thing is being translated. I don't understand it. And I find it very fascinating. I'm still trying to understand it.
Doc, one would ask, I mean, we are here and we can barely, look after the people in the northern region. I mean, do we really need to go and find out if somebody in Venus is cold or warm? I mean,
I don't think it's funny whether they are cold or warm. At the moment, it's trying to understand the solar system. A couple of months ago, there was a big rock that fell in Russia. That's what we are trying to understand. Luckily, we have satellites in space. So when any rock or anything detach and they're making their way into the middle of the solar system, and there is a chance it will hit Earth, we will know. Luckily, we have other satellites with laser that can be used to blast them. So this is why we need to understand what is happening. We can't just sit on Mother Earth and do nothing. We just have to be interested to understand the solar system. So when something else is coming to interfere with our life, we can see it and do something about it.
Doc, there's always been this argument about aliens. They are little green men living on a different planet, and sightings here and sightings here, and flying saucer there, and round circles in middle of cornfields. This guy says yes, this guy says no. You study those things.
I have not found any evidence as a scientist for any of that. But people for years been talking about aliens. We haven't seen anyone alien come to Earth to tell us where he's coming from or what language they speak. All of that, to me, is a myth, and it continues to be a myth. Until scientists land somewhere or get somewhere and meet them, and maybe bring one or two of them to Earth, as far as I'm concerned, it's a myth.
Is it Area 51?
Well, I think that's something else. During the hot Russian and American spy things, everybody had to create something. They were trying to have planes that would go and spy. In order to keep the citizens quiet, they have to say, these things, you see, they are flying saucers. They don't want to tell them the truth. It's a special plane for spying.
I see.
Now the truth is coming out gradually, but there are no flying saucers. There are no aliens anywhere. No other living things, as far as I know, anywhere else. We don't even know what language they speak.
Oh, but then I don't know if it applies to the Western world, but I can't say that anything that doesn't exist hasn't got a name. So by all means, if there's a name, it means it must exist somewhere.
I think, as a scientist, I don't necessarily share that.
You need to see it, touch it, prove it.
Scientists will send something to get closer and bring more information and analyze it. At the moment, we bring in rocks and sand from Mars. And only when we analyze it, we realize many years ago, there was water. And the water has evaporated. Now, that is scientific evidence. We are yet to find if there were people living there.
Doc, let's talk about the moon. And it's got so many connections with religion, with the tide, and, even how human beings behave, apparently, that you get more temperamental with full moon. Is there any scientific base, or is it just a coincidence?
I think if you look at it carefully, there may be some science there. Because if you live in a village, and during times of full moon and bright moon, that's the only light the villagers see for maybe throughout the night. They see, that's the only time they see light. So naturally, the behavior changes. Everybody gets excited. Suddenly, instead of getting dark after 6:30, eating your fufu and going to bed, it's still beautiful and light up to late. So you find the young boys and girls, it's like something else. And we all enjoy it. I went to school in the village. Gomwade Rampo. I didn't go to all my school in Accra. I went to Gomwade Rampo. My father was doing military for just 2 years because I stayed with my stepmother. And any evening, any full moon evening, it's very exciting because without the full moon evening, we don't have any light. It's total dark. When it's 6:30.
How about the tide? Because I know when the full moon comes, the tide comes in.
Well,
it's in the sea.
That's true, but the tide is not only related to the full moon. It's actually influenced the fish in the sea, in all the waters, because suddenly they lay eggs. When the full moon comes, the fish under the ocean lay eggs because they get a light going all the way to the bottom. They lay eggs. We have a video, and maybe we can give you a clip of that for your program. It's very interesting. The moon suddenly controls the tide. Low tide on one side means high tide at the other side, opposite side. It's pushing the water this way and that way and this way and that way. With the movement of the moon around the earth, the oceans are moved accordingly. So the moon has that influence on earth. And many years ago, people think, therefore, it has influence on the water in our body. But the relationship between the full moon and people behavior goes back to when the people give the word lunatic to people's behavior during the time of full moon. There is not enough evidence that it makes people insane. It certainly affects our behavior at full moon. It does affect.
I was going to say that, I didn't think it was politically correct, but you've just said it. So that's where we get lunatic from. As in when the full moon comes, people get erratic.
It affects people's behavior. And people have known it since ancient times. And people are still trying to understand it. Wow. Only recently we realized a bit more about the effect on the oceans. And there are people who believe that it's also affects water in our body. If that is so, as a scientist, I might say it affects the hormone. And the hormones affect behavior.
Wow.
So that may be the connection.
See, but you're a scientist, but let me veer into religion a bit, because I know in Islam, the moon is very, very significant to them. What do they seek for, within the moon, for that connection?
They don't necessarily seek for anything. They relate their calendar with the moon. Oh. And because when they're going to have a festival, they look for the first sign of the new moon. And then they start the fasting. And then the moon becomes the old moon and then disappear on the 28th day. And then they start looking for the new moon on the 29th day to finish the fasting. And that has been the Islamic connection for years and years.
Oh, I see. So every 28 days, it will go and come back on the 29th day?
On the 29th. The moon has a 28 cycle.
Now, what is if it doesn't come?
Well, it comes because it's going around us. All the bodies in the solar system up there, they move. They are not static. And as long as they move, everything else is moving.
Doc, recently we had an eclipse. It's the 2nd of November, 3rd November?
3rd November.
We had an eclipse.
3rd.
So I'm standing in my house and I can see the moon between the earth and the sun. Now, as far as I'm concerned, anytime it's day somewhere, it's night somewhere. So those at night will see the moon and those at day will see the sun. So I am asking, if it was day and the moon ventured there, then those that were supposed to be night, what were they seeing?
It's not quite like that. Unfortunately, it's not as straightforward as that. The moon is going around the earth.
Okay, I'm going to take a break here, and then when we come back, I'm going to have this argument with Doctor. Because so far as I see the sun, somebody should see the moon. How do I see them both? Which means those at night, what are they seeing? Stay tuned, we're coming back. It's an education. Well, hello and welcome back. Still at the planetarium, talking to Dr. Jacob Ashon on his hobbies, his life, and the Milky Way as a whole. Just before one of the break, I wanted to find out if I see the sun and the moon in my space, then those at night, what they won't see anything. There's nothing in their space because I've got them both.
It's not quite like that. We move around to form night and day.
We move around, the earth moves around
to form. We are turning
around the sun. Oh, we're just spinning on an axis.
Yeah, we're spinning on our own axis.
Okay.
And those facing the sun get the daylight. Uh-huh. Those away from the sun get the night. But the moon is moving around the earth, and it's so far up in relative to the earth.
How far away is the moon from us?
250,000 kilometers.
250,000
kilometers.
Okay, that's far.
So, because of the height, we on Earth will see the moon anytime. And we are seeing it daytime now.
Yeah, I know.
And nighttime, you will still see it.
Okay, so if it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, would I have still seen the moon?
You will still see it if the sky is clear. You will see it if the sky is clear. You look at it for tomorrow morning.
I will look for it.
It's because of the height.
I see.
When we get here, I'll demonstrate it and show you.
Okay.
Because you see, we have International Space Station, which is 100 kilometers above the Earth. They see us, and we see them above there. And they are turning around.
That's 100 kilometers?
Yes, above the Earth. The International Space Station.
100 kilometers? That's not far.
It's not far, but far enough for them to experience
at 100
zero gravity.
Zero gravity?
Yeah.
At 100, oh really?
Yeah. And they can hold things which will be floating. You can see some of them.
At what kilometer do you lose gravity?
I think any distance above the 100 kilometer,
you start losing
gravity.
Okay.
To some extent.
Okay.
Even when you get to the moon, you got small gravity, very small, not enough. But when you open a glass of water, you turn it upside down, it won't come out. You need a pump to drink water on the moon.
I see.
Because the gravity is so small. The moon's gravity is very small.
But is the food no good?
Well, that's another thing. I don't think the food will come out. But to drink, you need to suck. You need to pump
the water out.
And this, so everything in the universe, in our solar system, is mainly gravity. Because all the bodies are going around. They're doing what they do because of gravity. And the very, very big ones, the smaller ones are going around the big ones. Because the bigger ones, their gravity is holding the smaller one. This is why recently when they say they find another planet, there must be a sun or a star near that planet.
How many planets have we gotten now? Because when I was in school, there was only like 7 or 9 planets.
I don't know. I don't think it was 9 then.
It was 9 planets,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
During our lifetime, it was 9. It's only recently they reclassified and they say Pluto is a dwarf planet. So now we have 8, excluding Pluto.
Oh, so they haven't found any more planets? Or they haven't listed them?
Not within our solar system. What they have found are dwarf.
Okay, not within our
our
solar
other
solar system.
Other places, other solar systems.
Ah.
Many light years away from us.
I see.
And they found it using a very massive telescope. So far away.
What would be 1 light year? What, 300,000 kilometers, 500,000?
No, a light year is 9.5 billion kilometers. 9.5 billion. It's 9.408 times 10 to the power 12. So you need 12 zeros. After the 9.458, you need.
That's 1 light year.
Yes. It's that distance. And the universe is so big, we use a light year to measure the distances between planets and between stars when you get to that far. And there are many stars about the same size as our sun. Some are bigger, some are smaller, and they are all light years away. Wow. And the distances between them are measured in light years because it's too vast. You can't use kilometers.
So are we a coincidence then?
Well, a lot of people think we are very, very lucky. We are totally special until we find another living thing somewhere.
Wow.
And we find out what language they speak.
And we have the sea, the forest, the trees, the plants, the fish, oxygen, everything.
We can't find anything exactly like that anywhere else.
Perfect, conducive for living.
Everybody will be very excited. In fact, scientists are already excited, and they are still sending robots on satellite looking for life.
I know you're a scientist, but are you religious? Are you atheist, or you believe in God? Or
I believe very much in God, because when you really look at what is happening in the solar system and the universe, there must be a wonderful, wonderful creator somewhere. The only thing I can say is probably still creating it. Because we keep finding new things. Either he's created it and we don't know, and we are now discovering. Recently, scientists found a new star, and they watched the star to break into pieces so that they can learn the formation of new stars. And it's just magic. So some of us think God is still creating things, creating wonderful things. Because the universe is just too wonderful. Too wonderful.
I mean, we are not the biggest, the smallest, we are not the highest, the lowest, so why us?
We don't know. We're still trying to find out. Such perfect climate.
We are very ungrateful.
Perfect. Very, very ungrateful.
We're very ungrateful.
Extremely ungrateful.
See, that's one reason why you should bring children here to come and learn, so they appreciate what nature is and what God has given them.
Well, most of the children, when they come here, they're just amazed. We go through everything with them, and they're just amazed. Even the teachers. And some of them say, how come they don't know about Ghana Planetarium? We say, well, we leave the TV and radio people to let you people know we are here. We haven't got the money to do too much advertisement. But we are trying to popularize the wonders of the creation. Even when the people first went to the moon, they took a photograph of the earth. And you can see that photograph just like you are seeing the moon now. It's just like you are seeing it now. They were standing on the moon and they took photograph of the earth. And it looked just like that. Amazing.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Is they ever going to go back on the moon, or that's it?
I think they will always go back to the moon, because they plan to settle on the moon so that in future satellites will take off from the moon, because it will be more economical. They don't need to spend so much fuel to escape the Earth's gravity. When they're on the moon, the gravity is very small. They can easily sail into space and explore. So that's where they're going to build the next station, where we go into space from the moon.
Wow. How long did it take Neil Armstrong to leave Earth? About a week?
I think it took about 3 weeks.
Continuous flight.
Continuous flight, several thousand. I can't remember the details, but it was incredible. Something around 3 weeks.
Wow. It's amazing. I can see why you get addicted to it.
It's just exciting.
Now, stars. Now, you twinkle, twinkle, little star, and we are told that each star could be as big as the Earth.
Or bigger.
Or bigger.
Oh, you mean the Earth? Much bigger. It's bigger than our sun. Some of the stars. Much bigger than ours.
I'm actually short for words. But we're going to go under the canopy, because Doc has got all these pictures of the planets and the sizes and how they are arranged, and then he's going to walk us through it, and probably you get amazed just as I am too. So when we come back, we're going to look at the pictures. Prepare to be amused, prepare to be absolutely blown away. Now this big yellow mass here is our sun. Burning ball of gas, huge, and becoming like a professor, right? And then we have these. Mercury is the first one, which is this one, just a little dot. And then after Mercury we have Venus. And then this is a good old Earth. So this is where we are. So we are somewhere there broadcasting.
The third planet with our baby moon.
With our baby moon there. And then we have, who's that?
Mars.
Mars, that's Mars. And then that's
giant Jupiter.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy. And then that's
Saturn.
Saturn and his rings. Now, anytime you see Saturn, you see these rings going around it. Now, what's that? Is he married?
They are made of rocks.
For spinning around.
Spinning around. And the thickness is actually mind-boggling.
The thickness of that?
The thickness of that, several miles thick.
Spinning.
Layers of them.
Fast enough not to fall.
Fast enough not to fall.
Amazing.
And everybody finds it amazing. So when a rocket is going, they have to be prepared carefully not to pass through the rings. Either they go up and take the photograph and continue, because they can't go directly to Saturn.
Wow.
And everybody believes Saturn's rings are specially made to protect Saturn.
Wow.
There are a lot of wonderful pictures of inside Saturn.
How wide away is it from the planet?
Oh, quite several miles. Several miles.
Away from the planet?
Several miles.
Wow. Now, so this is where we get our gravity from.
All the gravity holding all the planets are from the sun.
So this was sucking us all to stay here?
Holding us, and very soon it might be sucking us. We don't know when that time will come. But it is believed that this will be shrinking. Maybe 1.5.
To burn out.
1.5 billion years from now.
To burn out.
To burn out. Becomes a black hole. And then all the planets will be sucking. That's a long time away. So we don't need to worry yet.
Don't panic. You won't live to see it. Billions of years away, you will see. Doctor, we're going to slowly walk to this board here. And then you need to...
This is another wonder of NASA and the Russians and everybody else. This has got the names of all the satellites ever sent into space. Those that went around the sun to take some pictures, and then those that went through Mercury,
missions,
and then Venus.
9 missions on the sun?
Yes. And then we have 73 missions on the moon. Because we were trying to understand it before landing. So we have to go and take the pictures, go around it several times before we can plan the landing. Now we've gone, we got stationed there. We can go again easily. And then look, 40 missions to Mars. And now we're actually on Mars with a robot.
Okay.
taking pictures, analyzing, doing everything. When we decide to go, we might not have a problem because now we are there with the robots. And then you have 17 missions just to go around here to find out about all these rocks that can actually escape.
So these are just floating rocks?
Floating rocks. Then you have our giant Jupiter, 9 missions. It's actually too far, 778 million kilometers. 778 million. Call it kilometers far away. Then you have Saturn.
5 missions?
Yes. It's again too far away, much too far. And because of the ring, it's dangerous. So you can see the mission is reduced. As we get here, only one mission. Only one mission.
Don't believe. Somebody went to Neptune?
Neptune. We just want to understand and collect pictures and information. And all the pictures and information has been
satellites were sent here to take photographs?
Here. Yes. And they go and they take photographs. And when they go and they get here, they go around the same speed as the planet is spinning. So when they are ready to go to the next one, because they're going around with it, it will give it a push. And we call it gravity assist. Boom, to the next one. And some of the pictures they have taken...
And all that time, you have still communication from Earth?
They're still having communication. They're taking the pictures, they're taking the information, they're analyzing them.
You're saying it's 700 miles?
778 million.
So how do you then stay in contact?
I really don't know how NASA did it. They're still doing it. I don't know how they use this wonderful technology.
In contact with the ancestors, isn't it?
Yes.
700 million miles.
778 million.
And you can still say, okay, it's okay, move on.
Yeah, and they can just control it. Until they can't control it and it's gone. And that's it, because you can't bring it back. They get the photograph, you can't bring it back.
But it will transmit the photos
back to Earth. And some of the photos are what we have now about what we know about some of the moons. Most of them have several moons. But you see, there's something very interesting. Look at the color. You know, Earth is mainly 75% water.
Yes.
So by analyzing the pictures of the other moons, they can conclude that looking at the pictures, some of these also contain water.
Like this one, yeah?
Yes. Look at the color. And look at that one and that one. And the water on this one was found 2011. This one. And the water was found 2011. But looking at it, it's far away, doesn't get the sunlight, so all the water are frozen solid. So if ever we're going to move anywhere, it will not be on another planet, but rather on the moons of the planet. Because on the moons we have found water. It's a question of getting the sunlight to warm them, then the water becomes liquid. But we haven't found water on any other planet.
No.
Are you with me?
Yes.
We have not found water. But some of the moons of the planet we have found water. And these are the selection we have. We selected them because they have found water. We update this every year. Very soon I'll check if they got any later information about any other new moon.
The other planets, are the moons significant to them as it is to our Earth?
We're still trying to understand what is the moon to them. We know the moon controls our tide in our ocean. And there, we are trying to find out how and what the moon is doing to them. I don't know. I have to find out, and I'll tell you when I know.
Wow. What are some of the next mind-boggling missions coming within the Milky Way galaxy? And what are they preparing to do now? Because, I mean, if you send a satellite 700 million miles and still talk to it and still get pictures, I don't know what more you're going to do.
I think basically the electronic is getting very clever. And what they are trying to do is to understand the solar system. One, to be able to control the rocks that are danger to Earth. So that we get more information earlier about anything coming, so that we can have time to send a satellite to blast it. This is one of the most important things.
How many satellites have we got hovering around now?
I think over 3,000. Some are for communication, mind you.
Okay.
They're not all for planetary mission.
Yeah.
There are lots of satellites in space. Most of them are for communication. but a number of them are for looking for life.
So all you do is once you fly 100 kilometers, you're okay. Then you just leave it floating about?
No. That's only the International Space Station. Because the International Space Station contains people, astronauts,
of course,
who are doing experiments on the effect of zero gravity on the body. So that's what they are doing.
Okay.
The other satellites are actually being sent to gather information. And some of them are going around communicating the information. Some are also for just communication. So most of our telephone and mobile phones are through the satellite. Other satellites are just going to gather information. Some of them, some people think they are for spying. Because now satellites are there, they are seeing everything before you and I see them. But we also got some of them to protect us by looking at other things in space to send warning signs. There is another station, observatory, in America and in UK. All they do is watching anything that may be harmful, so that NASA get to know or Russia get to know. Then they send spacecraft to go and blast it. So a lot of the observation and emission are for the protection of the Earth.
I see. I mean, I can imagine how the kids will get absolutely amused when they come and see things like these. And I don't know, I'm like a kid.
It's amazing. This is amazing.
I mean, a kid in a candy shop.
This is amazing.
I'd like to talk about this a bit more.
This is amazing.
I'd like to talk about this a bit more. You see, because Jupiter is a really big boy as far as planets are concerned. But we've done 9 missions around it.
Yeah, it's just too far. That's the problem.
No, but I think 9 is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. They would have liked to do more.
So Jupiter is a cold planet and gas.
Very cold. Gas.
Now, how do we determine it's gas and it's not rock? Mars is rock.
Yes. You see, physics and maths are just wonderful subjects. You can send light to hit something. When it's rock, you get different results. When it's gas, the result is different.
I see.
And some of the mathematics and the physics they have done, they have been able to sit here on Earth and analyze almost everything to the finest detail.
The composition,
everything. And this is what makes physics and chemistry so wonderful. They use chemistry because the colors of the photograph they get is the chemistry that will help analyze it. And by looking at it, you know what it is. And then when you pass laser through it, you can analyze the rock formation and beneath it.
How old the planet is?
Inside here, and some of the moons of Jupiter, they find some of the moons of Jupiter have ocean. They actually have ocean. Jupiter's moon
has an
ocean. The 4 big moons of Jupiter, all 4 has ocean in the middle of the moon. And they're trying to understand.
What do you say in the middle? In the core of the moon?
In the core.
Plenty of water in the core.
In the core. So you don't see anything from the outside.
Solid on the outside?
Solid on the outside.
And liquid in it?
Liquid inside.
But we have what? We have fire in our inside. We
have everything. We have everything. Everything. We have solid core in the middle. That gives us the oil and everything. Solid core. And the outside, we have an ocean. Big ocean.
So we have the reverse?
We have the reverse.
How do you know there's water in there?
Well, they have to, again, science have to analyze it. Science have to analyze it.
So what's the use in the water being outside?
When we take
outside so we can drink
when we take a picture, we know when something has water, what the picture should look like. We analyze it. And by inference, we just know that there's water here. That's why they find, look at the color. Just using color alone, you can tell that some of the moons, their picture, their look is similar to Earth. And if you use a particular X-ray crystallography, then you are only looking at the blue color of the water on the Earth. So anything that's giving you the blue color on some of the other moon, then you know it's also water. And this is what is
what should we do to encourage us, our students, our people, to get interested in this?
I think we need to just spend more money to train more teachers well in maths and science, so that the children will enjoy science, so that they will study science. If you don't enjoy the subject, you don't want to study it. So first, they most enjoy maths, they most enjoy the science, then they want to study it. And then they study it to senior secondary. If they continue to enjoy it, they might want to study it at the university level. So we are very interested in helping them to love and study the subject. So when they get to senior secondary, they continue to study it. And we want to help them to go to university and study. So we still deal with university students.
And what would be the benefit to us before I run out?
To us,
yes.
as a nation. Look at the world. Everybody is going technology. We want to go technology. And the more maths and science we give to our children and electronic, the better they're going to be. Looking for job becomes easier. Everything is technology. They won't really have to search for job. If they know enough maths and science, if they can't find job, they might become creative. But right from the beginning, they haven't got enough to make them enjoy the subject and therefore to make the subject creative. You see, when you enjoy the subject, you spend all the time trying to make something from it when you can't find something. You want to be innovative. But when you don't understand the subject and you hate the subject, you don't want to be innovative. You want to move away from the subject. So we need to encourage them to study maths and science and to understand it and to enjoy it.
Doctor, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much. I have absolutely enjoyed it. Dr. Jacob Ashon, who set up a planetarium here. And it's amazing just for the sheer information, just for the love of nature, and in the interest of technology, because that is what the world is moving on. And if we are going to be players in the world in the future, we need to start getting our children particularly involved in this science. It's been wonderful, it's been educative, and most importantly, exciting. Now, the planetarium is just behind the police headquarters. You know, it's just behind the police headquarters. For those of you who don't know it, we put the address on the screen, but it's not. Just behind the police headquarters, you find the planetarium. Bring your kids here, call, book an appointment, and come and have fun, because I did. My name is Nana Sakwao. This has been Personality Profile on the Planet. Have a good week.